And this is my old bathtub with a stand handle for my father. And this is the new layout. This was all changed because about 3.5 months ago my father had a heart attack, and when he recovered and got out of the hospital, wasn't able to, a lot of his motor functions had started to fail. He tried to get into the tub and fell over, and I found him lying face up on his back. So this is basically why I did all this. And this was over the course of Christmas to just shortly past New Year's. And it took about 3 weeks. And I don't think I would want to do another full bathroom renovation. It's a walk-in tub shower with a seat, a lot of grab bars, Simply Human three-piece soap dispenser, adjustable shower heads, easy for him to use, and he doesn't have to worry about falling. And there's plenty of grab handles. Those ones are a suction cup, and the other ones are fixed permanent. I put in an elongated toilet just to match everything. A really large medicine cabinet. And this is the old layout. That's the old bathtub. Had the 3 valve shower and bathroom controls, which were a little too hard for my father to use. They were old, and I guess they got tight over the years. They didn't leak though. Here I have a 1500 watt, I believe it is, heater drying out the base because there was a bit of dampness and moisture there. And it did work. It worked well. This was over the course of about a day and a half. Just getting it ready for all the new stuff. And here's the tub I bought. I got it for a good price because it had been purchased and then returned, and they had damaged it in one of the corners, which right there, which is something that you're gonna cover it up and hide it. Easier to cut this up and small pieces to bag it and get disposal of everything. Here I'm separating the walls, removing all the old screws that held the drywall in. The insulation and all that was still fine. Here I'm scraping off the old glue that held the surround vinyl plastic up. This hand scraper, I made it work for doing large jobs, and it did this pretty easy and pretty well. So it made it a lot easier. Although there's plenty of hours of tedious crap like this in a job like that. Here I'm separating the side walls from the ceiling in order to tuck in the new panel ceilings. Again, all the tedious crap that we all love doing so much. Here my sister's helping me cut the old drain out from the original bathtub for this new walk-in tub shower. So, relocated. Pretty disgusting. Well, I had to template where the new drain was going to go, so I had to cover this cutout with something, and this was my solution, so I can easily remove and work under it. So I dropped the tub down and simply marked out where the drain was going to be, and that allowed me to work on the drain. Here I'm marking the location of the tub to get it right back into the exact same spot where I had marked the original drain hole.
Before we pull it out, you said?
We're just drilling out all the proper size holes and everything to access all the stuff. A good part of 2 weeks, really, the bathroom didn't look like a bathroom. Just all messy and well, that fits. Well, now it's time to start assembling the new drain. So I went to Home Depot and bought all the stuff I needed to make this. I pre-fitted everything, so I didn't want to video all that. I had it all ready to go anyways. It's good to have a reference point. This stuff is actually pretty easy to work with. I have a little bit of experience building potato bins in the past with ABS plastic, and it doesn't take much to seal it well. It's nice to actually be using it for its real purpose for once. It's all just last minute prep for the bathtub drain. This last adapter here is the part of the drain that gets inserted with the compression clamp. It's just a piece of rubber that tightens around the drain and this pipe here, creating a seal and keeping it from leaking. Here I'm kind of building up all the insulation and all the wood that was all damp and rotten. I marked it out and later cut it off, and gonna start putting insulation into this. Of course, I realized real early into this that I should have some gloves on at least. Because this stuff is as itchy as all heck. I just blocked it off with some new wood. This whole bathroom was just surrounded in plywood with very little drywall as it was. I was putting panels and everything up on top of it, so I didn't need to use drywall. I had, of course, did a washroom years ago in our townhouse, and that was all drywalled. It was a lot of work. I kind of prefer this. And these are the new rooted piping for the faucet drain, or the faucet shower head I had gotten off of Kijiji. I love this system. It is a good idea to clamp all the pipes firmly to the stud so they're not bouncing around when you turn the water on and off. Just keeps it from prevents it from leaking in the near future. Because once you cover this up, you're not going to be able to get to it that easily. This is me testing the faucet and the drain at the same time. I'm watching it.
No leaking.
Under the
That's a
floor
shame.
there, and I'm running
Should have been leaking.
water
No, it shouldn't be.
through the system to see if it's leaking. This is real time. This is real time right here, and
30 seconds.
10 minutes that I had
No
looked at it, there
leaking.
was no leaks whatsoever, so I was confident that it was good. Probably better doing that than putting the tub in.
30 seconds. Live.
She messed up, so.
No leaking.
Here we are, almost 5
No
minutes
leaks.
into it. No leaks. I would imagine if it was going to leak, it would have done it in just a few moments, so this is a temporary setup. Of course, I tested it even further on. This is the first piece of aluminum panel I had glued to the ceiling to create a nice, shiny, clean effect. It's held up with load locks. It was for about 24 hours, overnight. This is me cutting open an access to get the old tub out and to put reinforcements in for the doors. Pretty grim looking. This is just marking out where the vent was in advance so I can remove that later on in the game. There's the other piece that's going to be glued up right next to the piece that's already up. I scuffed it down well for good adhesion with the glue, and cut it to size, and now it's ready to go up. First I gotta apply a tube of industrial strength caulking to it. I use these suction cups I got from Princess Auto to hold aluminum and glass and stuff when I'm either at work or at home or whatever. They come in here. They're only like $8 at Princess Auto, so not that expensive. You get the load locks in place. Because once you pick this up, you put it up, you have to be able to reach them to help them hold them up for you. This is something I do in my job a lot too. Putting up heavy pieces of things. You know, the idea is to put about as much as you can evenly, just so that once it's up there it never wants to come down. This material is what I use for literally gluing truck bodies and all that together. I'm just confident it will do the job. So when I separated the wall from the ceiling, that was for this piece of panel to slide between the wall and the ceiling. That would help hold it up and not leave any gaps and all that. So that's it. It was actually about a half of an inch bigger than across, and it just tucked underneath. And then I just used those load locks to help support it for another day and let it dry and cure. And that gave me the desired result. It's a nice shiny roof, or sorry, ceiling. Now I guess it was time to cover up the faucets. There's going to be what's called an acrylic surround on this, so I'm just going to glue that on just like I did the panel to the ceiling. So plywood is good enough. That 2x4 is holding a piece of panel on the wall just below the ceiling for part of the surround. And this is me zip disking and removing the area above the vent, and then placing the cap over it. This is where the new studs went in to support those glass doors that will be coming eventually. This is basically the first use with the tub in place.
And the painted walls.
Here's my sister painting.
Yep.
Not in your way there?
Nope, I'm not working on nothing. I'm just. Yeah, the second coat looks a lot better, son. Oh, it does.
That's basically a facelift for our bathroom. We never did anything with it since we moved in.
I mean, nobody can have a problem using this drain.
Probably the best shower head I ever could have got, or the shower control I could have got for my father.
What happened?
That's the wall surround cover.
Oh, that's the bathroom door.
I realize that now.
Everything's all glued up. And there's the third piece. The rear surround has just been glued up, pressed in place.
Told you, NASA.
So we give that a day. And that's the side you see there, waiting to go up.
Call down on your wall. Drill bit, Mike.
Hmm?
Drill bit.
Yeah, we'll get the floor in there. So wait till you see. All right, all the surrounds up, and it's time to seal it. The walls are all cleanly painted.
I'm working on that. Okay, Tom. Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay. Then I'm gonna come early
Okay, that's perfect.
so that I can.
Yeah, now it's starting to look like a,
Wow,
like a
this place
shower.
is looking like something.
I was gonna put these back on, but
And there's the trim for the ends. I used a lot of acrylic quarter round and baseboards because they're made of plastic and they won't rot, and they're already white, so I just had to glue them up. I brought the vanity in. Didn't need nothing fancy or big, just a small little simple thing, about half the size of the original. And I put that brick panel up. I got that at Home Depot for about $40. This is just recently sealed. Took about 4 hours and about 4 tubes of industrial type sealing. I used one of those professional squeegee tools as well. So this is pretty much watertight, and it looks clean and as professional as I can get it. I might note that that surround was not intended for that tub, as you can see the difference in size. I just made it work. It's kind of one of the things I do, is just make things work together, and it worked out well thus far. This shower control is for my father because his hands are not very ductile and not very, I don't know, resilient to use it. So that was the easiest faucet I could find. And now this is me just putting some panel in between the shower and the walls to create another seal for the up and coming shower doors. Here it wouldn't fit, which presented a little bit of a problem. So I just used the vibrating oscillating tool, and I figured that would take care of it. Has one in his toolbox. Voila, there it is. That's just a test piece anyways. The actual pieces I need are full length from the floor up. So there's that 3/8 piece of glass. It's the door. Really well built hardware and a very good quality product. I got this for less than half of what the guy that I bought it off of paid. And his reason for selling it to me was because his contractor would not install this door the way he wanted, which is basically the way I wanted it. And there's the panel all the way up to the top, and then well sealed, just creating that look. As you can see, the surround does not match the tub. Didn't really matter. And there's the main piece right there. That's over 120 pounds. All heavy, well quality, well built stuff. Just waiting for a couple of more tubes of white sealant to go into there. I have had to come back and put more. These doors do not stop everything. The water does leak out of them if you don't pay attention to certain details. Another piece of quarter round just to finish the look. I put that stuff everywhere. Just glued it on. It's really easy to not have tubs and sinks in your way when you're dealing with heavy pieces of glass and stuff. And there's the door. I had to relocate the door once, thus the two holes you see there, because these have to be installed perfectly straight and perpendicular to each other for the seal to work properly. The instructions for this said that you have to have 2x6 studs in your walls to support these pieces of glass, which I do not. The instructions also stated that your walls and your tub have to be perfectly square and plumb, which in this case it was not. Nothing here is square and straight. I had to shim and improvise everything as usual. And that's just the way it is. And that is probably, those two little holes are probably one of 3 major fuck-ups on my part in this job. The other ones I'm not going to point out because they're well hidden, which is another thing I do a lot of, is hide my mess ups. Well, now it's time to start focusing on the basin and the toilet. Cleaning up that wall area with these baseboards and all that was well weighted.
Come
See?
See
You can
the
hide
see
just
the
about
gaps
anything.
behind them and all that stuff?
Oh, yeah.
I have to do that to those first. I cannot do it after the toilet's in.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I gotta put all the caulking on it and everything, so.
Yeah, well, piece of quarter round down there. Everything's sealed. My temporary potty pot. A Home Depot bucket with a drain. My icy looking piece of glass and all this white. Starting to come along quite nicely. I was quite happy with it. So here, this is basically the finishing touches. I have since replaced that faucet though. I wanted a brushed nickel faucet. I didn't want a chrome one. At this point, I had not installed the heater yet. This bathroom, as of this recording, has been in use for 2 weeks. At this point, it had probably been used once. So if that light has the wires coming, I have a cover on that now. There is glass shelves inside there. I am going to be installing some towel racks and things like that later on in the game. They probably won't get videoed. I put some grab bars into this unit for my father because he might get a little stumbly going in and out. So I bought white ones to match. I'll tell you, I absolutely cannot vouch for that shower faucet setup. It is really nice. You can take it apart and clean it. It's not in the wall, it's outside the wall. Very easy to use, very modular. I tried to look for something like that for my sink, and there's nothing available. That was probably one of the best buys I could have got. That's the heater. Just finished installing that. The shower head. That's the new faucet. Just installed it.